Greetings, I'm Liz.
And I am Scandal!
Let's play a game together!
Yeah! Sorry, I couldn't contain myself.
Alright, so we had suspected this chapter might be long because the other chapters had been long, and so far we're into the 4th episode of this one chapter. And since we don't know where it ends, we might tap the button and immediately it ends. But Malak swoops after him.
Did you see that, nerd?
The Hanged Man. And yet, it can't be. We're not even in his realm.
I smell something fishy! And it's not the seafood buffet. Let's investigate, actually.
Stealing my resolve, I nod firmly, and we chase the sound of Malak's accusatory screams into the maze.
Excuse me! Excuse me! Excuse me! Just like that. Bitch!
We emerge in a large, clear area filled with massive topiaries. You act like you've never been here before. Every time it's, we emerge in this new place. We arrive in this new place. Have you ever been anywhere, nerd?
You know what? Considering who we are,
Maybe not.
maybe not. We're only 3, after all.
I know, but I'm like, we have been through this hedge maze and through this garden several times, and every time it is new and startling.
Uh-huh.
They're all shaped into animals, everything from mice to dragons. It's a proper menagerie.
What were you thinking that? What was your dyslexia telling you that was?
No, it's fine.
You're like, it's
It's a
inappropriate.
menagerie. And
it's a pooper
waiting for
menagerie.
us in the center.
You're here at last.
Malak is trapped in one of his hands. Wings pinned, beak and talons stabbing at thin air.
That seemed very strange.
I'm
actually.
holding him like a sleepy chicken, just holding his wings against his back, laying on his back.
Yeah, that sounds unreasonable. Raven not liking the Hanged Man sounds strange.
As we approach, the Hanged Man releases him. Squalling angrily, Malak flails wildly in midair before managing to flutter back to Julian's shoulder. All his feathers are ruffled, making him seem twice his actual size.
Poof!
I'm like, that's
The
so
angriest
cute.
poof. Honestly, though, like,
Judging you. Julian clears his throat and steps in front of me. Yeah, because this is acting super weird, honestly.
No, I know this is a masquerade.
And you guys came in the same costume. It's really embarrassing, really. Oh.
But burying someone else's form, that's just tacky.
Also, that's also wearing a costume someone's already wearing. It's faux pas.
It's pretty lame.
You must be Lucio's patron. I didn't make the connection earlier, but now that I'm so close, I recognize that claustrophobic energy. I felt it on the edge of my awareness every time I do a reading. The devil. The creature chuckles low and dark. It's a far cry from the Hanged Man's cawing laughter.
Do you want to do this one? Or do you want me to do it?
Hang on.
I can't, because I think
let me see what it's like. I feel like he would keep it until he drops the form, so go ahead and do this line.
Alright, that's fair. How insightful! I see there's no fooling you.
Light wavers uncertainly around the form in front of us. The guise of the Hanged Man falling away.
Please tell me there are more hot monsters. Ooh, there are. Oh, yep, definitely Lucio being a shitlord.
Looks very soft, actually, very cuddly. Like very like that silky, like what are those goats, like Argyle or something?
Oh God, I heard they're the Jacobson's goats actually, because that's the type of goat pattern that, like the horns, like the horns are like the Jacob's goat or whatever the heck.
With
they
the
are.
4 horns,
yeah, the horns in that arrangement.
So there is actually a breed of goat with 4 horns. They're super cute, but I don't think they have the long floppy ears like that.
No.
I think that's a different goat.
I think that is a different goat. But it could be.
You're just smashing breeds of goat here to willing. You can't just make up animals.
Why not? In my fantasy realm, I'm going to have as many turtle ducks as I want. Thank you.
Well, if that's what you like.
No, the thing is honestly though, like, I wonder if this is going to be one of those interesting misdirections, basically, of going like, that the devil card on its own, actually, I think a lot of people talk about it as the devil card isn't necessarily always a bad card. Like the same way the death card
isn't bad necessarily. Like, it just usually means, I usually hear it interpreted as change.
Right.
Something is going to, because there is a form of death or loss in any change. In the same way that if you go into personal growth and development and basically self-help and actualization, you get this experience of them saying you have to give up something to get something else. Right. And the thing is that thing you give up sort of dies. Even if you give up smoking to take up, basically more freedom for yourself. Whatever you decide to replace that smoking time and behavior with.
Because you gotta replace it with something.
You have given up smoking. You have sacrificed it. Sometimes you go, well, you have to make sacrifices. Sometimes a sacrifice can be something you don't even want, and you sacrifice it for something you do want. There doesn't have to be an equivalence because there is no inherent value. But, yeah, change.
Unless you want me
Change
to
is a
play
mourning
him.
process. No, I can do this.
I
can
could
do
totally
this.
play him.
I know you can. Just give me a second. I might, like, oh God, you got this face. Scandal has this face, like, I have this. I
don't have a character that basically plays the devil at all.
I was gonna say, actually, so Scandal does in fact have a role-playing character that does play the devil, and it's very entertaining. I'm just like, your fingers are wild, dude. Like, wow. Okay. Oh God. Give me a minute. Very well. No, that's not it. I can't do it. Very well. Let us deal as equals. Why don't we take a little walk? The horned figure drifts away from us. As he leaves, the hedges around us seem to press in closer.
So, and again, one of the things that I like actually trying to do in terms of doing character acting, if anybody's ever experienced it. So, and Liza and I have actually talked about this off screen before, but being like, Liza's actually struggled a lot with doing character voices, and I've done them ever since I've been a little kid. Engaging in different voices has been fun, and it's actually really interesting, even for you guys, if you guys ever want to try it as well. Don't think of it as just doing a silly voice. You're literally doing it as a character experience. You're having a lot of background, you're having a lot of weight, even if that weight seems to be like, this character is just plainly silly.
You're trying to think of who they are and come from that place. And it's funny, because I've done more acting than Scandal has as far as, like, career-based stuff. But I've never gone over the top a lot. I tend to stay in a relatively small range. I play teenage girl protagonist really well. Like disaster teenage girl protagonist. Like, that is my strong suit. That is my way. You know, what are you really capable at?
Child protagonist, you've been.
Right?
Yeah.
And I have done it so many times, and I have owned it. But then I try and do other things, and sometimes I'm like, it's a little
it's
out
actually
of my range, but
Or
I
your
want to
comfort
expand my range.
But that's the thing I'm saying,
for.
like, if you guys ever get uncomfortable with something, try pushing your voice more, because you'd be so surprised what human voices can do. Like,
Sometimes
it's amazing.
going a little over the top can help you find the character, even if it's a little much and you have to dial it back.
Right.
It's hard. It's easier to dial it back than it is to step it up.
I know! Like,
All right.
damn.
Unease settles around my shoulders, like a physical weight. Tendrils of anxiety curling around my throat. Right around my throat. Blah.
Nerd. I was so anxious I burped. Sorry. I don't like this, Nerd. Are you alright? Let me pat your butt. Let's get out of here.
I glance over my shoulder and swallow hard. I don't think we have much of a choice. Behind us, the topiary animals had silently closed ranks, forming a wall of greenery. Their little militant faces. Nope.
Burn.
Die. I don't know what might happen if we tried to get through them. And their little smiling faces. I will eat you.
Oh, forward is the only option. Stay behind me.
Do you think you're going to be better at this than I am?
And also, you can't heal yourself, buddy. I appreciate you want to help everything, but if you die, there's also a bit of information that goes with you. Since we haven't actually talked to you or had a conversation with you, we still need to get the whole story, so please don't die.
Yeah.
Like, we have very little story. Honestly, it makes it very easy to kill us. But you, please don't die.
Please don't die. Left with no other path, we follow the devil through the winding maze. Does he have a nice butt?
That would be a good... Excellent question! And next on my list is, yes, ass on god figures. Honestly, if I have a priority, it's good ass.
I want to see the Arcana, and then I want to see the back of the Arcana.
Turn
Would
around.
that be okay?
Turn around for me, darlings. I'd love to
I
see
need this.
the other side.
When we arrive in the center of the maze, someone is already there, waiting for us.
Yeah.
Him. Yes. Me. I think they might be smiling. In one hand, they idly swirl a vial full of dark, viscous liquid. In the other, they hold a beaker with a black feather and a scrap of cloth in it. Before we begin, I must thank you for taking the time to chase my colleagues in circles. It was a MacGuffin, wasn't it?
It's possible.
The whole thing was a MacGuffin, and you just needed to get us out here.
Maybe.
I would never have been able to complete the procedure if you'd found me
That's why I was like, why
earlier.
don't we go bother everyone else? Like
I said, I would chase them,
Yeah.
but it wasn't an option.
that's very strange.
Valdemar was not an option.
Very ballsy to go after Valdemar. You were right. We should have bothered Valdemar.
I'm like, honestly, if you screw up the manager, the work
The
will
whole
fall
thing
apart.
will fall apart. Because they will all go, you're a wreck. What do we do? Yeah.
Valdemar identified themselves of, I am in charge of this thing and I'm running it all. Going, okay, so we should screw them up. Because if you are actually having to push everyone that hard to know and do exactly whatever they're supposed to, Clearly you are the head of the organization, the operation, etc.
Right?
Julian swears under his breath, and cold realization dawns on me. We should have talked to other people. We should have told them what we were doing. We should have stayed in the group. Horror movie says you don't get separated. No!
Why does nobody work together? Oh wait, I'm the biggest one of all.
Say, I think you're bad at working yet. Wait, are you starting to learn that we should work together? No, why now?
Well, because it's thematically convenient.
How did we get back to the fountain? Wasn't the fountain outside of the maze?
No,
The
it's
maze-
inside the maze. It really is. You miss every time we go into the maze. It's literally going into the maze. This fountain is in the middle of the maze.
Okay, then I'm just...
You're fine.
It's
It's
fine.
okay.
I don't remember it any better than Nerd does.
That's why you're mostly playing them.
Valdemar tricked us. The other courtiers were decoys. Well, they carried out the real work. Yes, but we didn't have an option to follow them, so it doesn't matter.
I know, right?
It's okay. We have hard, shiny objects in our pockets that we can throw at your head.
Yeah,
which
pretty
worked
much.
really well last time, but I mean, it actually did save Julian's life, so there we go. Whatever they did, they succeeded. Their presence here is a threat. Don't mind my associate. I promise no harm will come to you while I'm here. As much as it pains me to comply. True to the devil's word, Valdemar stays where they are.
That doesn't mean jack shit for the rest of it, but okay, I'll just trust you. I'm like, that's really silly.
Now, I trust Lucio delivered my offer, and you've had some time to think it over.
Why make us an offer in the first place? What do you care about the plague?
The devil shrugs carelessly. Actually, he didn't tell us about your offer, so what you should know is, no, he told us there was an offer, but he did not tell us about the offer.
There's actually
which
a
is
difference.
a really, really big difference. Sort of like back in the day when Astra asked me, so, were you and Julian a thing? And instead of using the very finite and real words that Julian said, we were not actually a thing, we say, I don't know. And therefore muddy the water.
Yeah, pretty much. Make it too confusing.
I don't. The plague isn't my doing, and I have nothing to gain from it.
They really do that.
You,
Okay.
on the other hand, will lose a great deal if it returns. But I can't just cure it for free. I do have a reputation to maintain. Why are you helping Lucio? Why deal with us? I would ask why you're helping Lucio. Because
again, I'm like, we don't have enough information.
he would
So-
deal with us because Lucio said he's going to deal with us. Because likely Lucio pointed him at us. Doesn't
No,
mean
and
he
these are the
actually
ones
does.
that are currently in the way. So ask about Lucio. I'm like, why deal with us seems weird because we don't have the starting information. That's why I'm like, go with why are you helping
Additionally,
Lucio?
we're right here. We're here anyway. I don't know. Why are you helping Lucio?
I don't understand. I'm like, these questions also sometimes we're like, yeah, no, they totally make sense. I'm like, do not understand why you decided to ask those questions. I cannot read this game. Welcome to the edition of I Cannot Read This Game, 1235.
I really like the fountain in pink, though. It's very
really pretty.
It's very pretty.
It's also a hilarious backdrop for
It is.
Demon Monster.
I love the demon monster goat in this beautiful pink alabaster statue.
Can you imagine just like all the pink glossing off the fur and looking back there's a sort of preening
His
a bit.
beautiful white fur just cast in a rosy soft glow. And if you
Uh-huh.
play a different music instead of the sinister stuff, you go, loo, 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 loo. It's a
Oh, we're gonna suddenly romance
Suddenly
the
we're
devil.
like, oh, devil. I just feel the hearts and the flutters and the stars. You know what? I just heart eyes at the devil.
Awoo.
Awoo. Julian too. Ooh.
Awoo.
Valdemar. Why?
Lame.
Why? Why are you helping Lucio? I might be helping Lucio now, but I'd rather not be. When he first approached me, I thought it would be a simple enough matter. An interesting diversion from the matters of my own realm. Wait! He entertained you just as much as Julian entertained the Hanged Man? Brilliant! I love it! You're all like, we're a bunch of bored immortal
All
gods.
right, I'm waiting for this. Go ahead. Go off about your bored immortals, Rant.
Oh,
I love this
God,
one.
I don't
All
have...
right.
Okay, so everyone is so uncreative with their damn immortals going, I'm bored, I don't have any options. I've done everything there is. Do you know what everything there is actually even is. Most immortals are, I sit quietly in one tiny piece of a very limited space and do one repeated thing over and over again. That is some variety of like, it used to be debaucherous and scandalous and the most excess. Yeah, but you're only doing one goddamn thing. Even the most debaucherous excess in the same shade as always is boring to me now. Dude, have you ever been somewhere else? Have you gone outside once in a while? Met new people? You know what? Work in a damn soup kitchen with your bored vampire god ass and see what you think then. Just do something. You all sound like you're depressed and that you're having situational depression because you never leave your damn circumstances and are just being edgelords about it of going, but immortality, it weighs on the soul.
Bonsai trees. You could try that one.
You could grow bonsai trees. You know what you could do? If you have a long enough life, you could absolutely just like craft your own goddamn fossils. You know what you could do? You could grow 1,000-year-old trees in whatever damn shape you want because you have all the time to actually shape them and teach them and grow them. You know what you could do? Instead of carving like, Mount Rushmore, you could carve an entire goddamn mountain range because you have 1,000 years to do it. Like, y'all are boring and basic. No wonder you're like, you, the new young person, has life and energy. You shall inspire me. I'm like, all young people are like that. They're different than you, therefore they're interesting. Get out once in a while.
Go walk around outside. Anyway, I love
From the
that
matters of my own realm. But he has proved less than reliable.
That's an understatement.
Then you know why I'd like to wash my hands of him. So why don't we see if we can figure out some mutually agreeable terms? Dude, I love your scarf thing. Like, it looks like one of those ceremonial things that I can't think of the name of right now. It's very cool.
You know what kills me, though? I'm like, oh, look, it's the same design that was on Julian's freaking bathrobe.
Yeah.
Bathing robe.
Kind of.
It's kind of
Also,
weird.
he's wearing like an Astra neck scarf too, so I'm just
Right?
like,
But also, like, so what I was actually going to point out earlier is going, hey, check it out. Missing an arm, even though he probably isn't. But it's the fact of, like, so all the people that correlate with their people all basically are reflections
in
of
some
the
way.
other person. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell if he has his other arm or not, honestly. The posture
It looks like it's like this.
like
it's
it looks like
folded
it's behind. It looks like he's doing basically his
The
parade,
Julian-
the parade stand.
Going, hello, I have a stick up my ass and it feels great.
Actually, he's got a lot more relaxed posture than Julian does.
Oh, God, yeah,
As
he
far as
actually
just like
does.
sort of carrying his weight a little more forward and having a little, his head isn't like straight up, straight back, all that kind of thing. He's a little more at ease. Stopping the plague is only a trivial effort for one such as myself. So I suppose I should only ask for something trivial in return. Do you want all of the memories that I don't have from my whole last life? Because I'm not using them. I'm 3.
I'm still 3. They're 3.
No one else is using them either, and even if I don't remember them, I already don't remember them, so I could give them to you. He lapses into silence, apparently deep in thought. He taps his chin with a finger.
Teeny tiny little chin. Pep, pep.
I go, can pet chin? I know you're not an animal. It just looks really soft.
So it's like with Inuyasha and the ears and going, oh my God! Can I just...
Soft ears! It's like looking at toe beans on a cat and going, I don't want to disrespect you. Can I touch those? Ah! How about you? He points a claw directly at me. Join me in the realm between for one night. That's all I ask. Do I know what one night means? Is it one night my time or your time? Time moves differently there. Can I get some clarification on this first? In fact, before you make contracts, it's really important to be very clear about them. Then, might be fine.
Oh my God, I didn't realize his ears are like...
That's what I said, the long
enormous.
curly ears, different
I
kind
thought,
of goat.
okay, so I didn't realize they went down that far. I thought it just went here. Like, my
Oh.
brain wasn't registering that it went really far. Like, that's adorable.
Yeah, there's this beautiful breed of goat that have these long,
No,
curling,
I know. They're
like
also
corkscrew
huge.
curl.
I think, though, too.
Like,
and the
their
thing is, I
ears-
think they're from...
So, like-
they're a Middle Eastern goat.
Like, these ears aren't even as extra as the real goat ears are, because they do, like, a corkscrew curl thing. Like, they
Right.
look beautiful and amazing. And the goats are huge. Like, they can get up to, like, 4.5 feet, almost 5 feet high at
I
their
think
head.
they're even higher.
Like, they're
than-
really big.
If that's the one that I'm thinking about.
Anyway, in return, I swear that the plague will never trouble this realm again. When you say the plague, do you mean all plagues, this plague specifically? Is it going to be like, stop poking me so I'll start pinching you kind of thing? Like, we need a little clarification here. I told you to stop poking your brother. I did. Now I'm just smacking him on top of the head. Oh, that's so much better. Thanks.
Thanks. Stop.
Ah, the plague will be gone. And now we have locusts. And now we have cancer. Oh, look. Now we have venereal disease. Thank.
I said I'd got rid of the plague.
Now we have a different plague. So now it's a plague instead of the plague. Thanks. You'll be free to go at sunrise. In the meantime, I will not harm you or anyone at this party. Well, what do I know about him from the Arcana was what I would want to know. Going, nerd, you've been around the deck. You have learned about the cards and how to read them. What do you know about his card and his major arcana, as it were?
Right?
His eyelashes are amazing. So pretty and foodie.
They're not long enough, though, for a goat. Like, damn you.
I mean, it depends on your breed of goat.
That's true.
Again, he's already, you know, but he's got very pretty.
He's very pretty.
He's very pretty. These are, like, beautiful. Like, you know what? I said Lucio was good at makeup, and you know what? Yours is beautiful. Like, the subtle shading, the outline, very pretty.
Yeah, very lovely.
Let's see. Or anyone at this party. Will you harm anyone else in the world?
Right.
I won't harm anyone at this party. Anyone else in the world? It's such a strange request that I feel stunned and flooded with questions that I don't have words for, because I really don't have a lot of words.
And also limitations.
Why would he want my company? One night. Is that really so much to ask?
How do we even know you'll keep up your end of the deal?
Got such a blank face going on right now, like just staring. I feel like it's like the cicada cricket's face, like he's trying to be like, I'll pretend to be emotionless. You can only speak to him if you're emotionless, otherwise he'll cocoon.
Oh God, yeah, right, from the good place. That's
sorry,
so funny.
I think you know the answer to that, nerd. I do. I remember Astra telling me this one afternoon. The cards spread out on the table between us. Thank you! We get to know what we know to some degree!
Oh, God.
None of the major arcana can lie. That includes the devil. Now I just need to hammer down what he actually is saying.
I'm also like, how the hell did
loosely.
Astra find that out?
Clearly, by interpreting their realms, finding paths to them, and being like, now that I've got you, you're going to answer every question I have, or I will never leave you alone! And they're like, oh God, could I just get him to go home?
Please?
Damn. Either that or, sure, I'll answer every question. This is more interesting than not doing anything.
Because, you know, I'm so boring!
Because apparently all I do with my eternalness is stand here in one portion of my swamp and blink until someone looks for me.
Oh, hi, what's that? Oh God, a slug. I am like that salamander that didn't move for 7 years.
For 7 years, and then suddenly went, wait, I have limbs! Ah! That includes the devil. Precisely. If I say the plague won't return, it won't. Do you have to offer at all? I'd be so very disappointed if I don't get to enjoy another plague. Not to mention, I've never gotten to dissect someone who died of the plague twice.
Wait, so we've been dissected before?
Or they're talking died of it twice, like assuming if you die of it again.
No, I want to go morbid. Like, dude.
Were we dissected last time? Were we brought back post-autopsy, staring at ourselves going,
Astra, it's a cool tattoo!
Just, you know what? It's a really cool vine tattoo is what it is. You're just branching out, over the heart. It's fine.
It looks great. Even though, it's a specific collarbone. We
just beautifully painted vines over it. It's fine.
It's fine. I gave you a tattoo before I woke you up. Desperately doing the little hammer and chisel like now.
Valdemar leans forward slightly, their gaze boring into me.
Over my dead body!
Yes. Oh, gladly. In fact, why don't I start on that right away? Now, I am a being of my word. You cannot harm them while I am here. Oh, the face! He smiles! Yes! Then again, I might make no promises for what might happen when I leave. You've heard my terms, nerd. What do you say? I say I'm going to put a magical binding to make them mean what I understand them to mean, and then agree with you. That way, no further clarification has to be made, because they will mean what I believe they mean, which is that you are going to be perfectly a good experience, and everything will come out all right on the other end. Okay, this seems like a really dramatic choice.
I bet you this one is relevant to whatever the hell we're trying to do. I don't know, because honestly, I'm like, what are we trying to do here?
I don't know if this is sort of like what they taught us with the vendor, though, of going, if I refuse, can I rebarter for different terms?
Right.
Going, such a shrewd choice. You knew this was a poor deal.
Right.
Or if I accept because, like this is the end of it all and I don't know what else to do.
Also, again, that we don't necessarily have any guarantees for so many things.
We don't.
This is way too much up in the air and way too many bizarre...
Can they not do basically an implicit lie or a lie of omission? A lie of omission. Because if they're not allowed to do lies of omission, then it has to be face value what he says is true.
There's also the stupid dumbass fact of going, he just said, I'm not interacting with Lucio anymore.
Well, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to.
But also going, we don't have to make a deal. And we'll be like, then we can make some other, basically, agreement of going, like, all we have to do then is fucking stop Lucio. Like, you clearly don't want to do anything with him, so why are we having this conversation about just stopping the plague? Which,
see, part of
I don't even know if it's entirely, like, is it just him? I mean, and they blame it on him. He's the source of it.
But
we don't even know the source of it in terms of, like, did he cause something or something around him? So he's the source of it because he's the one who called it.
Also, is there a correlation to him? Like, is the behaviors that people were doing that spread the plague only there because of his practices?
Right.
Is it indirect of going, well, the way I handle bodies is by throwing them into the river. That's spreading the plague. That's your clean drinking water. But no one else does it without me here because that was my decree. And Nadia's people from Prakra have different burial practices and burn things in a pit, which doesn't spread the plague. Like, this could be interpreted so many ways.
Like, I don't know. Like,
so
that is...
if the game was teaching us, and it is a puzzle experience, I would tend to say I refuse is appropriate, because then we will be able to basically work with a different offer. But part of me is nervous because this feels like it's way more weighty, and I feel like it was really disrespectful in the hangman's realm, not like greeting him or behaving appropriately towards him or anything, just kind of barging in. So part of me wants to accept and then find out what the hell he's about.
But also, again... So, I'm having an interesting thing of going, Valdemar will not hurt you as long as I'm here. As soon as I go away, though, and that includes us, we'll go with them.
Valdemar can do whatever they want.
That also then means, in a weird way, that Valdemar is not entirely tied to the devil.
Valdemar doesn't have to be tied to anything.
No, but I'm going like, that means, though, that they are separate chaotic elements that we have no control over, and it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So they could do something even more off...
I'm going to do I refuse. I don't know if it's a good choice, but I feel like we should try to counter-argue because he just told us that once he leaves, which would be leaving with us, Valdemar can do whatever they want. And we don't, like, Julian has a history of handling himself poorly, without help. I refuse. I refuse. That's really too bad. But that's business for you, I suppose. Despite his facetious disappointment, his smile only stretches wider, even as he slowly fades from view. Well, that was anticlimactic. I kind of wanted to go. I'm like, damn, that's the only choice where I've wondered what the other choice does. Valdemar, you know what to do. With pleasure. And so he leaves, and then they can do whatever they want. Julian lunges for them, but Valdemar is too quick. They tip the vial of black liquid into the beaker. The black feather and scrap of cloth bob briefly before the murky liquid eats through them with a hiss. Something in my chest wrenches sharply. Even taking a breath to scream is pure agony. In front of me, Julian shouts in surprise and pain. Well, that was probably the wrong choice. On the other hand, like I said, if the game was teaching us... But I don't know.
But I don't know, because there's also a lot of choices that we seem to make that they don't even necessarily bring up again. This is why I get confused by this game, too, of going like,
a lot of them really don't seem to have any
weight at all.
They're like one-offs.
They're weird one-offs, yeah. But I'm also like, what kind of end are we going towards? And I'm like, so this is interesting playing this blind of going, what does an ending mean anyway? Yeah. Like, what is, we're not going to solve the mystery? Everybody dies then at the end of the mystery if we fail? Like, what?
It's been spoiled for me that there are only two endings. Like, someone they didn't know, and then just was like, well, there's an upright and there's a reversed ending, which I'm not sure exactly what means, but there's only apparently a binary ending, one of two things.
Right.
And so it's like, then all of these choices are leading to only one of two things, which makes them feel very binary. You're either choosing ones or zeros, and in the end, it's how many ones or how many zeros, if the game's really that linear, I guess, which feels strange to me.
Simplistic.
Yeah.
Not necessarily
Anyway.
linear, but...
All the color drains from the world around us. As the first Julian's body, then mine, slumped to the ground. I find myself floating over my own unconscious body. Horror and disbelief numb me from head to toe.
What the hell is... Hey, get away from me!
Julian lashes out as Valdemar approaches his body, but his hands go right through the other doctor. Some of this gets really dark.
Uh-huh.
He stumbles back in shock and looks at me, his expression stricken. Too bad we didn't do the teamwork thing, but you know. Also, again, I am gonna damn buckle down on that magic thing, because if I'd have known more about this situation, and maybe if I wasn't just 3, I would have been able to handle it better.
Alright. What? Hey, nerd, what's going on?
Before my eyes, my body dissolves, subliminating into silvery smoke. Julian's body remains inert, even as Valdemar starts dragging it away into the hedge maze, with lots of people that are going to be out on the other side of the hedge maze. The cloud of smoke races across the ground in the other direction.
Nerd! Come on, let's go!
Why was he smiling suddenly?
I don't know, I was like, that was disorienting.
Before I can stop him, he runs after the smoke. I have no choice but to follow. I mean, I do have choices, but I don't have choices. The foliage blurs around us, leaves and branches whipping past. More than once, I think I hear someone laughing, but the sound is muffled and distorted, as though I'm underwater. Shock gives way to fear and dread as we race through the maze, up to the palace, and towards the ballroom. Why are we going there? I mean, why is the smoke going there, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
Inside, a sea of party guests mingle. Their faces are blurry, as if someone smeared wet ink on parchment. I spot the bright shock of Portia's hair in the crowd, except for everything's black and white. So
what?
She has color? Portia, help us! She doesn't respond. Nobody does. You have to learn that by now, calling out in your entire life has done nothing for you. Nobody does. I realize to my horror that they're all looking through me and Julian. You should have realized that back in the garden when you lost your body. Why would they be able to see you if you don't have a body?
No kidding.
Like we don't exist. Yes, that sounds right. I'm a little slow on the uptake, aren't I?
I'm like, hang on.
The smoke swirls up the stairs unseen and unnoticed by the party guests. So we go after it? At the top, it erupts into a billowing cloud, then begins to coalesce.
Oh my god.
Here he comes back like an
Angela! Sorry, in fact.
Are you going to shiver with anticipation? A hush falls over the room as the clock chimes midnight. The lights dim, then extinguish entirely, leaving only a pool of light at the top of the stairs. Spotlights on me!
Yes! Oh my god,
those lights on me! Get those lights! Get those lights on me!
Like, damn. It can't be! He's freaking upstaging me, you bastard!
Yep, there he is. That's hilarious. Until now, I've only seen this figure in paintings. In this monochrome nightmare, his is the only face I can see clearly. Except for, somehow... But Pasha's hair has color? I'm also, like...
You're fine. Don't worry, it'll all make sense, never.
Count Lucio, now very much alive, strides down the stairs. He throws his arms wide, basking in the stunned silence.
Dry your tears, Vesuvia! Your days of mourning are over! Your beloved Count has returned!
He keeps going. All right. Yeah! Excellent. Well, there we go. Wow. That's amazing.
Awesome. So I guess this has been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was great playing.